Welcome to the Apocalypse and You, where we'll ask questions like, what should I do now? And, I don't know, what were you gonna do? And many more. Kids, if the first step from sanity toward madness is confusion, then the first step back to sanity must also be confusion. With your host, the confused Revelator man. And remember, when the going gets confusing, the confused go.
Now, what is it with the whole quantum computing thing? Hello everyone, I'm your host, the confused Revelator man. And just as one should not bring a knife to a gunfight, one should not bring clarity to a confusion fight. Ladies and gentlemen, confused is my first middle name, so please, those of you at home, don't try this until you've been trained and licensed by a regional affiliate to do so. Okay, since quantum mechanics is likely going to come knocking on our doorsteps in the coming weeks, just guessing, allow me to help those unacquainted on their first step toward mastering the ungraspable. Let's take a look. As we progress into the field of current computing, as a refresher and for comparison, most of today's computers look at bits, or tiny pulses of electricity that are either pulsing or they're not. So they're known as on or off states, also known as 1 and 0 states. The computer looks at them in groups of 8, or bytes typically, and then sends them to, say, your screen, or to someone else across the internet, depending on what you want it to do. Now, in quantum computing, rather than bits, we have qubits. Gang, here's where things start to go sideways. Just like a bit, a qubit has the ability to be on or off. However, unlike a bit, it can also be both. And whatever you do, don't try to observe it. Now, if I've reached one, just one person out there with a new spark of interest in quantum computing, then this has all been worthwhile. But I'm afraid this is where this is the point that I tap out. And in my confusion, I will seek wisdom like the blind squirrel and find this. Now, I don't know about you, but when we start talking about stuff that can naturally be either one thing or the other thing, or both things at the same time, all while being tougher to pin down than a leprechaun, for heaven's sakes, I gaze in gobsmacked splendor as my ignorance unfolds over the horizon. JFK is a wise man. I had the good fortune to have actually met another wise man. Yes, it was the late spring of 1994. I had been awarded a month-long fellowship at Cambridge. I just so happened to be there, well, none other than the great Stephen Hawking, who was doing some grant work there on campus. He gave a couple of lectures, and, I'll tell you, you don't have to be around someone with his level of greatness for long to come away with something valuable. But it was his tenderness I'll remember most. He would take me by the handlebar, and we'd go on a roll. Heck, we'd go anywhere with a 6-degree incline or less. It didn't matter. But we'd make our way back. Was he a jealous lover? Was he a bit rougher than I liked sometimes when he drank? Maybe. But you just couldn't resist. He'd get that gleam on his screen. I couldn't resist anyway. You know, it's funny. Everyone says they know where they were during the O.J. Bronco chase. I was with Steve at his place. Talk about something you never forget. Well, I'm Holy Confused Revelator, man. And this is that.